Ghosts of San Francisco, a Twin Martin production. Starring Carl Malden. Also starring Michael Douglas. With guest stars John Davidson, Herb Edelman, Marianne McAndrew, Anne Helm, John Fiedler. Tonight's episode, Mask of Death.
Miss Carroll, a very pleasant evening to you.
Hey, baby. Missed you at the party. Why don't you take off your coat and hat and stay a while? I got it. Relax, Carol. What's your drink? Sherry. Oops. You got me. Wait a minute. Isn't sweet vermouth a kissing cousin?
Are you surprised I came?
You said you would. There we go.
Now, the weapon was a narrow gauge shaft, probably steel. It was plunged in directly here below the sternum, was twisted up and piercing the right ventricle, the left articular appendage, and the pulmonary artery. Now, the medical examiner suggests it was a darning needle or a machinist bit or a surgical
Or
instrument.
an ice pick or an upholstery needle. Let me ask you something. If you were going to stick someone, would you make that kind of fancy detour?
Not if I didn't know where I was headed.
Like maybe a doctor?
Maybe.
Hey, Woody. How you doing, Woody?
Oh, don't ask.
What?
A couple of weeks ago, a crick in my neck. Last week, 2 teeth pulled. Yeah.
Oh.
And I think I got a little bit dizzy or something.
What, in your funny bone?
Ho, ho, ho. What's the bad word?
Well, now, do you think you could reach back about 8 months?
What'd I do?
I'll tell you what you didn't do. You didn't solve a murder.
Oh.
Oh. John Willard, businessman staying at the Pierre Hotel.
Oh, that little dilly. Somebody punched a hole in him right under his breastbone. Skewered his heart. Hey, you gentlemen have something?
A twin in every respect.
Our victim's name is Harvey Ross. He's on the road like your guy in town for a sales convention. He's dealing in costume jewelry. Only the only thing is there's no samples missing from his case.
My guy had a roll of bills on him. Would have choked a horse. We ruled out robbery in that one, too. An MO like this. We're after the same sickie, all right.
Woody, you consider a woman?
Yeah, I walked that around for a while. But a female predator that uses eyeshadow and pantyhose, the rare species, my friend.
I'm not quite extinct, my friend.
Maybe it's arthritis. Hey, your guy married?
Yeah, he's got 3 kids. He's living in Palo Alto.
A player?
Yeah, we haven't talked to his wife yet. We thought we'd get a little more before we got into that with her.
What hotel?
Pierre.
Same as my guy. Place is so big, nobody noticed anybody coming in or going out when it happened, right?
Right. I'll get it. Lieutenant Stone. Oh, yes, Mr. Gans. Thanks for calling back.
Okay, I'll see you at 5. I'm sorry. You come to these things hoping to get away from work, and you got to do more than ever.
That's quite all right, Mr. Gaines. Harvey Ross was attending the same convention as you then.
Yeah. That really blew my mind when I got back here this morning and heard about what had happened.
You were out all last night?
Little gal from Sausalito. She gave me her card. She sculpts. Yeah, statues. She shows her stuff on a little shop over at Chestnut.
Then you were with Mr. Ross earlier in the evening.
That's right.
Well, we talked to some of the other members of your group, and they all seemed to say that you were the last person they saw him with.
That could be, but he wasn't in any pain when I left the party.
What party was that?
Oh, real fancy shindig she threw. Bobo Stanfield, the oil well Stanfields. We were there, really. Yeah. You know how it is when you're doing a small town shuffle. You get to New York, Frisco, you go for broke. Yeah, I didn't know anybody there, but this Ross, he was a real operator. You know what he says? He says, well, I'd been invited by some girl he'd met in a bar the night before. Yeah, and then she didn't even come.
Did he mention her name?
I don't think so, no.
Did he leave the party with you?
No, I clicked with a chick. And then I left. You know, the sculptress, Sherry. That's what her name was. Check with her. Check with Sherry.
We'll do that. Thanks a lot.
All right, bye.
While tearing off a game of golf, I may make a play for the caddy, but when I do, I don't follow through, 'cause my heart belongs to Daddy. If I invite a boy some night to dine on my fine Finn and Hattie, I just adore his asking for more, but my heart belongs to Daddy. Well, my heart belongs to Daddy, and I know I could never be bad. Yes, my heart belongs to Daddy. Da 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 da. Well, I warn you, laddie, I think you're perfectly swell, but my heart belongs to Daddy. 'Cause my daddy, he treats me so well.
Fix this zip.
I'll slash my wrists.
I just hung up with Green in Vegas. He wants an answer on that August thing.
And there's a local talk show. Want you for Thursday.
No, forget it, Lori. People who watch talk shows don't pay to see our kind of entertainment. Out! Everybody out!
Honey,
All right.
Out. If there's anything you want, just call.
Vegas
I'm just not going to be
thing.
there.
Carol, I have to give them an answer. Doesn't get to you, does it?
What?
You blind to something. The whole Carol Marlowe number, 10 minutes after the last curtain call, it's still hanging on.
Sam, you've been around show people all your life.
Oh, sure, it takes a long time getting into character, and you gotta have time to turn it off, but 16 years. I never saw one like ours. We got us an original one, Lori, believe me.
Look who's telling who. 'Cause 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 'cause
Yeah. Lori went on back to the house. Listen, this Vegas thing, huh? We got us one dynamite year coming up, Kenny. With Carol Marlowe back in the act, they're all screaming for you. I'm telling you, it's this nostalgia thing. Carol Marlowe rides again, up, up, and away.
Sam, shut up. My head is killing me. The Carol Marlowe bit is out. Okay? She's dead, Sam.
You can, baby.
I mean it. I mean it, Sam. I don't want to hear another word about Carol Marlowe. She's out.
Oh, they're early. Hurry up, Frank. Make me decent. Law and order have arrived. Thank you, Martin. Forgive me, gentlemen. I meant to be ready for you.
Mrs. Stanfield, I'm Lieutenant Stone. This is Inspector Keller.
It shouldn't take too long, Mrs. Stanfield.
That's unfortunate. Would you gentlemen care to join me in a drink?
No. No, thank you.
You don't mind if I have another one, do you?
Not at all. You gave a party the other evening.
That's right.
Would it be possible to have the guest list?
I'll have a copy made for you.
Here's the man I mentioned to you over the phone.
Oh, yes. I'm afraid that he was a pathetic, lecherous bore.
You remember him then?
There are some men that are terribly hard to forget, Inspector.
Had you ever seen him before the party?
No, but I think if Ken Scott hadn't pulled him off when he did, I would have slapped him in the face.
Ken Scott, did you say?
Yes, the actor. Well, an impressionist, really. He came in and he did a few of his bits and kept it from being a bad scene that I didn't need.
We understand Mr. Ross was invited by a lady he met in the bar the night before. You know who that would be?
No, but if you ever find out, I would like to know that, too. I mean, I certainly don't need a person with that kind of taste around here, do I?
Did you see him leave the party?
Not likely. I would have applauded. I did see Ken locking him in a corner. Read him the house rules, I guess.
Well, if there isn't something else you'd like to tell us, maybe we ought to leave.
Fine, I'll find that list for you.
Thank you.
Oh, there was one other thing.
What's that?
I don't know if it means anything to you, but he got a phone call later on in the evening from a girl.
Did you answer the phone?
No, I don't answer the phone around here.
Well, how'd you know it was from a girl?
I saw him. See, a man has a different way of talking to a woman on the phone than to another man. Why don't you prove it to yourself, Inspector, and call me sometime?
Okay.
Did you get the actor's name?
Yeah.
A kiss on the hand may be quite continental, but diamonds are a girl's best friend. A kiss may be grand, but it won't pay the rental on your humble flat, or help you at the automat. Men grow cold as girls grow old, and we all lose our charms in the end. But square cut or pear shape, these rocks don't lose their shape. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. May come a time when a lass needs a lawyer, but diamonds are a girl's best friend. There may come a time when a you're awful nice. But get that ice or else no dice. He's your guy with style high. But beware when they start to descend. It's then that those louses go back to their spouses. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. I don't mean rhinestones. Diamonds. Diamonds are a girl's best
Ladies and gentlemen, you were a wonderful audience tonight. I know my act is a little bit weird. Still have my nails on. You were a great audience tonight. Many people don't actually understand what I do, and they're very shocked when they come to see me work. It's not so much the act that shocks them, it's when they get the check. Actually, people really don't understand what I do, let's face it. Give you an example. A couple of months ago in Miami, a nice elderly couple came walking backstage, and they were so excited. They wanted to congratulate me. They couldn't believe that a woman could impersonate a man so well.
You were a smash, my lord.
Stick around for my encore.
Of course, we didn't fill all the requests, but you don't listen.
Oh, Sam, that was a great show. You kidding?
Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott?
Yes, sir.
I'm Lieutenant Stone.
Lieutenant? Oh, what unit, Stone? I was in the Marines, believe it or not.
They're from the police, kid.
The police? Oh, I hope you don't bust me, gentlemen. I'm clean. I'm clean.
Honey, are you going to do Maryland tomorrow night?
Yes. Ooh, on the second show.
We're investigating a homicide, Mr. Scott. We understand you were at a party at Bobo Stanfield's the other night.
That's right.
Met a man named Harvey Ross. He got killed a few hours later.
Aha, maybe that's an omen or something.
Mr. Scott, you talked to the victim. He was the man who made a play for Mrs. Stanfield.
Bobo? Yeah, I remember that creep. Bought himself 6 feet of earth, huh? Lordy, Lordy, some calla lilies for his grave. The calla lilies are in bloom again.
Lieutenant, maybe if you got to the point.
Sam, please, cool it. Guys, look. I saw him, I lectured him, and I just forgot him.
Did you see him leave the party with anybody?
I don't know. I left early. He was still hanging around.
Officers, I do hope I've been helpful. Yes, I do.
Do you have the feeling you just came off another planet?
That's showbiz.
Showbiz, huh? Well, maybe I shouldn't knock it. He plays to full houses every night. We come up empty-handed.
We have nothing to talk about.
Oh, yes, we do.
Look, I'm beat. Why don't you go crawl in a tomb somewhere? Just get off my back.
You know why I'm here.
I don't know anything anymore.
You took me out of the act again.
I warned you the first time, but you wouldn't listen.
What are you gonna do, love? Turn me in?
You murdered 2 men.
Trash. I killed trash. You know as well as I do the kind they were. It's wrong. How dare you judge me? I'm Carol Marlowe, and don't you ever forget it. Let go of me, Carol. Tell me I'm in the act again. No. There's only one way to deal with you, love. Sorry, but I miss my audiences. Carol. Carol. Don't do it again, please.
Same murder weapon, Mike.
When did it happen, Bernie?
Oh, 5, 6 hours ago, maybe. Not much more.
Mike, this is Mr. Winkler. I think he's got something for us.
Oh, I'm on a double shift, so I must have been on duty when this happened last night, don't you know?
Yeah, Mr. Winkler, the medical examiner figures the victim has been dead for about 6 hours.
Well, it was 2:45 a.m., that is, when I saw this woman coming out of the elevator. I'm what you call a film buff. Pictures from the 30s, don't you know? Oh, they don't make them like that no more. No, sir.
That's right. They don't make them like that. No, sir. And you figure that there's a connection between the lady you saw...
And the old movies? Her clothes. Right out of Ruby Keeler and Footlight Parade.
She's wearing a hat, too, Mike.
Yeah, with the veil. You know, like they used to.
Maybe a hat pin.
A hat pin?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Go on, continue.
Well, I sort of followed her. A man don't get to see a swell-looking gal like that much anymore.
Where did she go?
Oh, just a block. And sitting there waiting for her is this big limousine that looks like it just come out of Gloria Swanson's garage, don't you know?
Did you get the license number?
No, sir. Too busy trying to figure out if it was a 33 or 34 Brewster.
33 or 34 Brewster?
The manager advises me that Mr. Winkler is a very responsible employee.
With a high of 78 tomorrow. The next Bay Area weather forecast on the noontime news. Headlining the local news, James Waters, a pharmaceutical salesman staying at the Hotel Athena, was found murdered after he failed to respond to a wake-up call early this morning. An employee of the Hotel Athena is reported to have seen a possible female suspect leaving the hotel just after the crime was committed. Police have described the mystery woman as a Caucasian, 30 to 35, dressed in the style of the 30s. She was seen entering a chauffeur-driven antique automobile shortly before 3 a.m. It is the second such murder this past week, the other occurring at the Hotel Pierre on Thursday night.
Still bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to call a doctor.
No, Laurie.
Headaches like that aren't natural, Ken. There has to be something that can be done.
Look, I don't need a doctor.
All right. Maybe you don't need me either.
Laurie, I'll be all right. I'll be all right in just a couple of minutes.
No, Ken. And as long as you keep lying to yourself, pressing yourself, you're never going to be well.
Look, I'm not sick.
You're exhausted.
No.
You're so drained you don't know anything about yourself anymore. How could you? Think about what you do. Every day you have to masquerade around so perfectly that people can't tell what sex you are. I mean, what kind of concentration does that take? What kind of tension does that have to put you under?
Okay, I'll tell Sam to cancel the next couple of dates.
That won't do it, Ken. You tell Sam to find a new client. You can't keep on with the act, Ken. That kind of pressure isn't normal. That kind of transformation isn't normal. It's breaking you. You have to stop it, Ken. You have to quit.
I can't. I mean, how do I live?
Your life doesn't depend on that damned act.
Mine does.
What?
I said, mine does.
Ken, don't. Please see a doctor, Ken. You won't be seeing me anymore.
Go! Run! Trap! This is where I live. You don't belong here anyway.
Mr. Scott? Mr. Scott, sir? Mr. Scott, sir? Mr. Scott?
What is it, Raymond?
Oh. I wanted to tell you, sir. I'm afraid I find it necessary to leave your employ. I regret the suddenness, sir, but...
Why do you address me that way, Raymond? You know who I am.
Yes, madam.
Now then, what's all this about leaving?
Well, it's my cousin, sir, madam. The one in Toronto. She's been ill and...
I don't believe you, Raymond. It's about last night, isn't it?
Last night?
When we went out. You know, don't you, Raymond?
I really must be going, madam.
You finally know. Who have you told, Raymond?
No one. I've told no one. And I won't. I swear.
I believe you, Raymond. I do believe you.
The doll I saw was real elegant. Walked just so, don't you know? Now, look all you want, but I don't think I'm gonna find... This is gonna sound like I'm off my nut, but I think I do know where I can get a picture of her for you.
Listen, we just got something from DM.
Hold it. Finish your thought.
Well, there was this big movie star in the 30s, committed suicide just before the war broke out. Carol Marlowe. Remember her?
I sure do. And you feel the lady you saw looked like Carol Marlowe?
You ain't gonna have nobody in these mug shots come any closer. Nobody.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Winkler. We'll keep in touch.
Oh, sorry. Force of habit.
You know, I think we were just handed a tip.
What tip? Old movies?
Carol Marlowe, the actress, one of the greatest, just as great as Mae West, Garbo, Hepburn.
So?
That's why everyone still does imitations of her.
Imitations of... What, Ken Scott?
That's right. Female impersonator.
Maybe that ties with what I got from DMV. Registration of 34 Brewster.
Ken Scott. I wonder if he was here entertaining 8 months ago.
Why?
The first murder.
I'll call his agent.
No, don't call agents. They just mean trouble. Listen, let's go to the library. You got a library card?
No, but I got connections.
Steve, come in.
What do you got?
Read the dates.
October 4th. Yeah, he was in town October 13th.
Mm-hmm. Along with everybody else in San Francisco. But crazy as it sounds, I think we're really onto something.
Okay, we got 3 bios on Carol Marlowe. She was a very, very kinky lady. They got one chapter in here, you're not going to believe it.
Well, don't believe everything you read on film, people. They're human beings just like anybody else.
What are you talking about? The lady killed herself. Her mother's a juicer, her father, guess what did for a living?
Traveling salesman.
That's right, a salesman, away from home all the time. She never forgave him. She blamed him for all her hang-ups. Now, I may be reverting back to my old psych classes, but it could be she's killing her father every time she kills one of the salesmen.
Why she? We're talking about a guy. Ken Scott.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got a picture of her anyway. It was taken in 1939. That's her chauffeur, Raymond Howard.
In a limousine?
Yeah.
Could be a 34 Brewster.
Yeah, that's what the author said, yeah.
It does, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let's go and find out what Mr. Scott has to say. Well, you see, there was a car seen in the area. It was one of those, old classics that people like to collect.
1934 Brewster.
You found out that I own one, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it belonged to Carol Marlowe. Matter of fact, that's why I bought it. I happen to be a very big fan.
I see. Of course, we know that there isn't one person in 1,000 who can tell you the difference between a 34 Brewster and a 29 Duesenberg.
So what?
So were you driving the car last night?
No, I never drive that car. I drive a Ferrari.
Of course, a Brewster's driven by a chauffeur, isn't it, Mr. Scott? You have a chauffeur?
Yes, I do.
What's his name?
His name is Raymond. Raymond Howard.
How long's he worked for you?
I don't know, not long. A year, maybe. He worked for Marlowe, too. Brought him out of retirement just to drive me around.
It's all just part of the act, huh?
Lieutenant, everything I do is part of the act. I mean, officer, it's my life.
2 minutes, Ken.
Okay. Look, guys, the fellow you're looking for couldn't possibly have been Raymond. I mean, he would never take that car out on his own.
Well, now we're not looking for a guy. We're looking for a gal, a woman.
Well, I'm even more sure it couldn't have been my car then. Officer, that's my music starting up. You'll have to excuse me. I have to get into character. Yes, I do. Right. Is there anything else?
No, there's nothing else. Thank you very much for your time.
Right. No problem, officer. Diamonds are girls' best friend.
It's like dealing with a 3-headed monster. You don't know which head to talk to.
Yeah, and one of them may be a killer. Now look at this. There's a bunch of those up there.
Okay, that's it. Put out an APB on that chauffeur. What's his name?
Right.
And then I want a complete profile on Mr. Ken Scott.
Okay.
Insurance, school, service, medical, everything. Everything right down to his birth certificate. Now listen, put that thing away, will you, before I bust you for petty theft.
we understand that. This would be strictly confidential. We just need some background information, and your wife suggested that we... Right. Right, no, a half hour would be fine. Doctor, thank you very much. Goodbye. Dr. Thompson of the county hospital. You can see us in half an hour.
You know, it says here when he was in the Marines, he was a medic.
A medic? He's got to know about anatomy.
He sure does. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yep.
And then you think that maybe he killed those guys and used Carol Marlowe as bait.
Or she's using him?
Come again?
Her personality. He could be so bent he doesn't know whether he's killing or not.
You think he's schizoid?
Well, is there anything in those reports that tell us that?
Well, I don't know. It says here, Kenneth Jackson Scott was born in 1940, dropped out of school in 1959 to become a medic in the Marines, 3 years of service, 4 years of Academy of Performing Arts, some stage work, and he was a big hit on the road in a thing called Charlie's Aunt.
Yeah, that figures.
What does?
Charlie's Aunt. It's a play about a guy who dresses up as a woman, his aunt.
It is, huh?
You know it, right?
Do I know it? Oh, once in love with Amy, always in love with Amy. La 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 la. Oh, I saw Ray Bolger do it right here in town.
So how does that figure?
Well, how does it figure? It figures that just because he's a female impersonator doesn't make him a basket case. I know a guy in Guadalcanal, a Marine, a sergeant. Did a terrific imitation of Carmen Miranda. La cucaracha, la cucaracha, la ta di 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 di, la cucaracha.
You must have been on that island a long time.
Yeah, I sure was.
What about Ken Scott?
Ken Scott? Well, let's see. Ken Scott. He lives on Beacon Hill in an old mansion his grandfather built in 1910. He was in shipping. His father, Andrew Scott, was a merchant seaman, divorced in 1951.
Well, he's a sailor.
Yep.
He's traveling out like a traveling salesman.
I don't know. Nothing here says he's a psycho, though. How about that medical insurance? Anything from that?
We're seeing the doctor in half an hour.
You think he's going to give us something?
He's a shrink.
No, as far as I know, his disturbance is related strictly to his profession.
Well, how's that, Doc?
Well, like most stage performers, that is, people who act out other lives, impersonate other individuals, Mr. Scott has developed a highly refined sense of psychic dualism. That is to say, one can actually believe that he knows how another person, another personality, might react to a particular set of circumstances, or feel as the other person might feel. It's a form of role-playing.
But is it possible that someone who has an imagination as highly developed as Scott could be dominated by the personality?
Oh, it's rare.
But is it possible?
Well, yes, if the person is pressed to the point of acute exhaustion.
You know, I've read a lot of documented cases about people who have more than one personality. Now, is it possible that a personality can do something violent and the other personality not know anything about it?
Are you saying, Lieutenant, that Ken Scott has killed someone?
Doc, what I'm saying is that the guy we're looking for could be very, very sick. Especially if he's killing people under the influence of a personality named Carol Marlowe.
He talked to you about Carol Marlowe? Yes. That was one of his concerns.
Well, it's one of ours now. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
How come he doesn't open up?
I don't know. He's probably upstairs.
Raymond?
yourself a drink, huh? Okay? Raymond!
Killing in October was on the 13th. He saw Thompson on the 15th. You think it's possible he could be conscious of what he's doing part of the time?
I don't know anything about all that mumbo-jumbo. The only thing I know is I want to put an end to it.
Well, you want to handle it?
Straight.
But the guy's confused. All we can do is help him.
He'll get all the help he needs in the hospital. Have you forgotten that he's killed 3 guys already? And they were all very sympathetic, you know.
You just had a vacation.
Sam, I'm telling you, you cancel the tour.
You listen to me, Kenny. We got contracts. You leave me holding an empty bag, and I'm going to sue you, so help me.
I'm going to Acapulco tomorrow. You want to make the arrangements or not?
Okay, go ahead, do what you want. But when you get back, don't call me, baby. Call my lawyer. You know what I think? I think you're nuts.
Sam. I'm sorry.
Sure, kid. Too bad. You had a great future.
Mr. Scott in?
Yeah, he's up in the study.
Can we,
Go right on up.
That's it for the APB on the chauffeur.
Just a little too close. A little too close.
Probably the last time I'll have that up in lights.
Yeah.
You know he's even got a hit album out now, too?
Those kind of hits I don't mind.
Yeah. He was good.
Yeah, maybe too good.